Good afternoon. Today I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus, the latest updates and news. So the first piece of news is that the White House is saying that it supports the idea of sending checks to Americans for about a 2 weeks pay because many jobs are vanishing as we talk, and many hospital chains, restaurants, bars, coffee shops are all laying off people, and a economic advisor to Mr. Trump thinks that the U.S. economy could shed as many as 1 million jobs in March because of the coronavirus. The left-leaning Economic Policy Institute projects up to 3 million jobs lost by summer. That means 1 to 3 million people could be laid off and could go homeless. This will be extremely large hit to the economy, and I don't think that the U.S. economy will be able to survive this. So the Trump administration is saying that they will be supporting 850 billion more into the economy, and 250 billion will be used to give all but the highest earners about 2 weeks pay each. So basically what he's saying is that he will be mailing checks to all American employees for like 2 weeks pay, and by doing this he's going to try to keep the American economy afloat. Again, I think this is a really large problem because the more that this coronavirus thing is going on, the more people's jobs are going to be lost. I mean, it's not just the upper class probably won't be affected, but the middle and lower class people who live on their paychecks, meaning that they basically spend all their money before their next paycheck. I don't know how they're even gonna be afloat, as they're basically not gonna have any income. They can't afford to buy anything, and they could probably just end up homeless on the streets. And so this is an extremely large problem. But the Trump administration is telling Congress to go big and sending checks to Americans over the next 2 weeks. The second thing about this is that the second piece of news about the coronavirus is that currently treatments and vaccines are in development, as we also talk. So currently about 50 possible drugs are being studied, including scientists in Mount Sinai Hospital in New York and Pasteur Institute in Paris are already testing some drugs. The University of California in San Francisco have already drawn a map of the coronavirus, understanding exactly how the virus hijacks host cells. This job, which might typically take 2 years, was done in a few weeks because everybody has to work around the clock to get this treatment. The first human testing of experimental vaccine began Monday in Seattle with 45 healthy subjects aged 18 to 55. So finally, we are already trying to test the experimental vaccine of mRNA, I believe, and this was chosen because mRNA is extremely rapid in developing the vaccine. However, even if the vaccine is proved to be safe and effective against the virus, it will not be available for at least a year, which could be extremely dangerous. So, and the third piece of news is that the Trump administration plans to immediately turn back anyone attempting to illegally enter the United States from Mexico. So Trump has already issued many travel bans on Europe and China with Asia, and now he's going to basically turn back anyone who have found to enter the United States illegally, and they will not be detained or given any hearing in the United States, but they will be immediately turned away. Officials also said the effort was intended to prevent a virus outbreak inside border detention facilities, which they feared could spread quickly among the immigrant population, border patrol agents. So I think this issue is kind of similar to like prisons, because to be social distancing, so like a 6-foot rule. It's impossible because the guards have to be like really near the prisoner, otherwise the prisoner is just gonna stay away and like escape. And so that's the problem in prison facility, is that they can't enforce that rule. And so if one person is sick of the coronavirus, maybe like a guard who got it from someone who is sending the mail, or the mailman, or something else, if one person gets it, then everybody in that facility is going to get it, because social distancing just can't be enforced in a prison. And I think this is the same thing with the immigrant population and detention facilities, because, well, if we're not gonna have to watch these immigrants closely, they could just escape and make them their way into the United States, and by this you can spread it to the entire facility. And so by doing this, Trump administration is also using this as a really good way to just stop illegal immigrants from entering the country. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good night.